Hey there guys, I'm Spy. Today I'm doing tutorial murder 4. This video will cover photograph locations, knife locations, power locations, Easter eggs, and some tips and tricks and a little bit more. This video will be chaptered off for whatever needs you might have. You can skip over to whatever part of the video you want. And let's get into it. Quick little cheat sheet in case you need it. It has all the bear trap, knife, and photo spawns for your convenience in case you ever need to quickly reference it. So the first photograph you're going to find is going to be in the cellar. In the cellar, you're going to find the photograph in the back, right behind the stool, right here. That's all there is to it for this one. And you're going to find your second one over here in the kitchen. It's going to be hidden in the pot. Now for the third photograph, you're going to come over to the billiards room, or the bar. It's going to be abbreviated with a B, which is going to be important later, but it's not important for now. For the third picture, you're going to find it right here in the bar. It's going to be up here on the shelf. And for the fourth picture, you are going to find it in the garage. It's going to be hidden in this portrait. Like so. Now for our fifth and final picture, you're going to find it here in this room in the library. And it's going to be behind this chair. So here at the detectives table, we have all the corresponding letters, and we have all our corresponding photos. For the library, it's going to be L. This is the one you find in the library. This one is the one you find in the bar. You're going to put this on the B. This is the one you find in the cellar. Put it on the C. This is the one you find in the kitchen, and put the garage letter on the G. The photographs, the correct placement corresponds to the first letter of the room you found the photograph in. Once you put all the correct photographs in the right order, the camera will spawn on the desk. You can use the camera to flash anybody else in the lobby, and it will take a picture, and it will force them to drop their items, knives and guns included. Once you flash someone and their items are dropped, you can steal them, which includes guns, which you can then use and defend for yourself. And as well, it takes a picture, which you can catch a murderer in the act and show that to the detective, and you can go after them. There's going to be a corresponding knife spawn for several rooms. In this room, this is the bar. You are going to find a knife here on the counter. This is assuming the invisible knife setting is not on, which is very important. The second knife you are going to find here on the counter in the kitchen. There is a third knife here in the cellar. The fourth knife you're going to find here in the library. It's going to be here on this table. And the fifth knife you can find here in the garage on this set of boxes in the corner. The last knife, you will find it here in this bedroom next to the detective's office down the hall. The last knife is going to be here on the table. For our first power spawn, you're going to find this power box here in the cellar. When you're the murderer, you can flick the switch, and after a couple seconds of delay, I'd say about maybe 15 to 10 to let you get away, the lights will go off. The second power box you'll find here in the bar between the living room and the bar. This is the second power box right here. The third power box can be found right here in this room adjacent to the library and the garage, in between. That one right there. Our final power box, you're going to find it in this room. This is on the left side of this little side bedroom next to the detective's office on the second floor. And you'll be able to find it right there. So for our first bear trap spawn, you're going to find it here next to this power box in the middle room. It's going to be right there. And the second bear trap is going to be found here in the bar. Anyway. And the last bear trap is here in the detective's office. Clues are scattered nearly everywhere through the mansion, in drawers and cabinets especially. When you collect 5 clues regardless of your role, you will get one of 4 items that can spawn. These include the smoke grenade, which spawns a smoke screen and drastically slows down players caught in it. There's the frag, which once primed after a delay explodes and kills anyone near it. The Luger is a silenced pistol. And finally the shotgun, which acts just as a normal gun. Clues can spawn later during a round, so if you're struggling to find your 5 clues, you can go back and rummage through previously searched areas. Something to note is that clues are not the same for everyone, and some hosts may use the setting which makes it so only one clue item can be created, so watch out for that. Additionally, the revolver can only be wielded by the bystanders/detective. Next up, we have locking doors. When you feel it's in your benefit, you can lock a door by clicking the latch, forcing it to have someone attempt to open it 3 times before it opens, enabling a safe getaway when being pursued by the murderer or isolating a crime scene. If you are in a desperate situation or want to slightly troll, you can spam click the latch when someone's trying to get in to relock the door, hopefully before they can get in, but beware that sometimes weapons such as the knife can go through doors. Next up, we have power. When the lights are sabotaged by the murderer, they will shut off after a few seconds, and the icon revealing where the sabotaged box is will show after about 15 seconds of the lights going off. Use this info to your advantage to flee the scene as a murderer, and to deduce which person is the murderer. You may have also noticed this in the gameplay, but you can stick your head through a doorway in order to gain a glimpse of what it looks like on the room, so you won't have to find out the hard way what's on the other side of the door, and if it's a good idea to pass through there. On to the next topic that's needed to be covered, hitboxes. These are inconsistent in Murder 4 and depend on the user. Smaller avatars have smaller hitboxes and vice versa. Keep this in mind while playing, and you can view hitboxes by bringing up your menu and pointing the laser at somebody. The pill shape you'll see is their hitbox. Alright, on to bear traps. Bear traps can only be grabbed by the murderer and can be thrown on the ground. When a bystander walks in them, they'll die instantly, so make sure to cautiously approach so you can disarm them. When the murderer walks into their own trap, it will slow them temporarily. Lastly, we also have the snake. The snake can spawn randomly in a box on the map and it has a snake label on it and can be let out by the murderer. It will target the nearest bystander and will go through doors. As a bystander, flee from the snake or get some weapon or someone with a weapon that can kill it, such as a gun. As murderer, make sure you aren't caught letting the snake out, and it won't pursue the murderer, so keep that in mind. One of the biggest things as murderer is to avoid suspicion. You must keep your cover as long as possible. Failure to do so will easily result in defeat. Try to avoid making blatantly obvious plays like running in the open with a knife, throwing bear traps, etc., getting caught turning off power, and snakes not tracking you. Try to hide your actions by closing doors, turning off lights, and leaving no witnesses. Try to keep your distance from anybody armed unless they trust you, because just being next to someone with a gun is not gonna always end well for you. As murderer, we have a lot in our arsenal to kill people with. Your best friend is the knife. This will kill people upon contact with their hitbox, can go through doors and some walls, and be thrown. Don't underestimate the value of throwing knives, but be careful because if you miss your throwing knife, it's very likely your victim's going to be able to put a locked door between you and they'll escape. The other options available to you are bear traps, the snake, and the clue weapons like the Luger and the shotgun and the grenade. As an additional tip, this may come off as suspicious, but to conceal knives you can try keeping them in your avatar's model or behind your back when you're approaching other players to prevent it from being seen. There's also the poison, which can be added to a glass of wine, killing whoever drinks it easily. But this is pretty much a gimmick play and shouldn't really be used to win. One of the key parts of winning as murderer is deception. Keep a low profile, try drawing suspicion to other players, collecting photos, reporting murder sites when it's in your benefit, and in group settings not standing next to knives, and trying to earn the trust of those who are armed. A lot of things can go a long way in order to keeping you alive. For your playstyle, it's largely up to you and how you like playing. You can move fast, running double daggers and riskily trying to run through as many people as fast as possible, or you can be slow and calculated in your deception, going one by one. Just remember, as murderer, you need to kill everybody to win, and the longer you take, the higher the chance of other people getting their clue weapons and potentially being your downfall. So be careful when playing for the long con. Moving on to our bystanders and detective, the gameplay is much similar compared to murder, so your perception skills are critical to your success and survivability. Above all else, try to preserve your life and other bystanders if you can. Lock doors to escape murderers who are pursuing you and other bystanders, try to obtain clue weapons, or try to find the detective and report the murder to him. Lastly, the final role of the bystanders is to try to discover who the murderer is and avoid or kill them. If you witness a murder or an action only the murderer can do, report it to the nearest person who has a weapon or the detective. Pay attention to who goes to what rooms, if knives are moved, or blood pools appears. Always be wary. If you kill someone and make the wrong call, you'll go blind and drop your weapon for a few seconds. That's all for this video. If there's anything you guys think I missed or would like to see, let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you enjoyed the guide. I'd really appreciate a like on the video if you haven't already, and if you've subscribed if you'd like to see more from me in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!